Hey everyone, today we have a couple of special guests with me. We have Captain Whitney Mauck, who she is in charge of the division that has our school resource officers and crime prevention. And also we have Master Deputy Colton Manich. Colton is the school resource officer. I guess you're assigned to Strasburg High School right now, right?
Correct.
And Colton's also been a canine handler in the past. And one of the things that we put in this year's budget request, that would be the fiscal year 2026 for an explosives detection canine unit. And Colton and I have been talking about this now. Gosh, we started talking about this, I guess it was last June or so.
It's been a while.
And we made an effort. There are people out here that, and I think one of the things we try to do is we try to find alternate funding sources for initiatives like this. And I know Colton has put in for, 2 or 3 grants that we've applied for, and we weren't successful with those, which is neither here nor there, but we were basically trying to find an alternative funding source other than county funds for this initiative. And the other piece of this is, and Whitney, we talked to the school board, gosh, I guess it's been about 4 or 5 months ago. One of the things that I think Shenandoah County needs to be looking at, one of the school safety initiatives that we need to be looking at now is having our own explosives detection unit.
Right.
I'm not sure about statistically, maybe you can touch on that a little bit, how many of these things we're handling a year.
So just this year, from the beginning of school until the current date, we've had 43 incidents where if we would have had an explosives canine, that we could have put that into play at that point.
And I think what a lot of people don't understand, Colton, is, now we, Shenandoah County, have had some incidents in our county, and these have been years ago. One we had, I think it was a robbery in New Market. There was another incident in Fort Valley that I can think of off the top of my head, where you're not just bringing these animals in for bombs. They can detect gunpowder. Mm-hmm. So, like I know in the case down in New Market, we were actually able to find the firearm. And in the case in Fort Valley, we were actually able to find the firearm. And it was because we had an explosives detection canine unit. Now, that unit, I think in both those cases, we were able to use, it was an outside agency, of course. But a lot of people don't understand when you say explosives detection unit, they're thinking exclusively bombs. But it's more than that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's explosives and firearms detection. So when we're doing these kind of investigations and we're looking at where in the state that we have to utilize a dog, the response time just geographically, we're looking at least 45 minutes to an hour. That's not including the time that it might take for, that handler to get that dog ready and then to arrive on scene. So it's well over an hour before we can even think about getting a dog here. So it would definitely help cut down the time of investigation and then also threat to the community and safety.
And Whitney, like when you were talking about it, was 43, I think was the
Mm-hmm.
number. I mean, what a lot of people don't understand, when we get one of these calls, it's not just a call at a school. Most of the time it's after school.
Right.
Most of the time, quite honestly, you're sitting there and it's like 9:30
mm-hmm.
at night, and you're like, this happened this morning and we're hearing about it now. And what happens is like if it was your school or your campus, the school resource officers would be going out and interviewing the kids involved, going to the houses.
Right.
And having a unit like that available at those hours would cut down on that time. Plus, you'll be able to take that unit with you when you're going there and you're, trying
Searching
to find
for weapons in the house.
Right,
Yeah.
trying to find a firearm.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Right. So, in going back to your point with regard to the response times, and this is just understanding how the system works, most of those outside assets or resources would be if it were school was going on or about to go on, like a ball game was about to happen, or school was about to open, or school was actually open. It's not, okay, here we are, it's 10, 11 o'clock, 1 a.m.,
Right.
and we're going to go see if there's a firearm at John Doe's child's house.
Right.
I don't think the general public understands that.
Well, and speaking with dispatch on response times, just to touch on what he said, if they're off duty or they can't get a hold of them, then they're just not available at all. So you kind of just take them out of the equation at that point. And, I mean, they go down through the list here and keep calling to see if they can get someone, but chances are you're not going to get anybody.
And I know, Colton, when we talked about this, I mean, to me, it just seemed natural if we were going to stand this program up, having that canine available to a school resource officer seemed more practical than anything. I mean, because you're in school every day, you're hearing what's happening in the other campuses, so you're available most of the time.
Right, and absolutely. And the thing is with having one readily available to the schools, not only are we going to be able to use it during those calls and things like that, but it'll also be a deterrent. So the kids will see it, the parents will see it, community will see it. So it'll help hopefully alert people that there is a dog that's working, and will help keep the school safer by keeping those firearms and explosives away from the buildings as well.
Okay.
Definitely.
Anything else on the calls or how it would be used? Or
So really the sky's the limit for what we can do with one of those dogs. Because we have, the truck stops in Toms Brook and Mount Jackson. We've got 81, obviously, that stretches through the whole entire county, all of the churches. So a lot of different options that we have as far as community safety goes. It doesn't have to specifically be used at the school. So we'll also be able to, if there is patrol that needs it for an investigation like you referenced earlier, we'll have that option. We'll have the option to help neighboring agencies if needed. And, obviously the biggest thing is when we're looking at the schools with almost 4,000 kids, obviously that's the primary focus.
it will be, as there's no doubt in my mind, it will be used. I mean, we put it in the sense of school safety, and that's kind of where we put the, where we're going to put the unit, who's going to handle the unit, and that kind of thing. But you're exactly right. We'll be using it in a variety of other calls and places within the county.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think when you're looking at it, just broad scale and law enforcement and the where we're at with violence and firearms, I think as just a whole to have that readily available, similar to I think it was last year when we were at there in Edinburgh when we were searching for a firearm. There, I think having that just readily available, not having to wait. There's a lot of time and downtime where law enforcement's just waiting on that next step because we can only do so much when it comes to searching when we're waiting for a dog, so we're not contaminating the search area. So, I think having that there and available, like I said earlier, with public safety and being able to get that word out to the public that there isn't a threat, I think all of that it just shows the value of what one of these dogs can do and what it will do for the community as well.
Okay. Anything else, Whitney?
No, I mean, I just think timing is essential. Like you said, in the middle of an investigation, and you have to stop and wait for that. When you're talking about firearms, school safety, community safety, anything of the sense of that, it's urgent and exigent. So if you have it readily available, it's going to be a big contribution to the community either way.
Well, look, Colton, thanks so much for coming in and helping educate the public on this request. Whitney, appreciate it. And let's hope we can move forward on this initiative and help improve public safety in Shenandoah County.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.